Alright fam, the time has arrived. It is Copa America time and it's time to get predicting. Now, my Euro 2024 predictions did not get off to a very hot start because I did have Ukraine going pretty far into the tournament and, well, they lost 3-0 in their opening match to Romania. But at the end of the day, that's the nature of this predictions game. You can't really predict every single thing that's going to happen, and there's a lot of uncertainty with these teams and how they're going to look going into the tournaments. But it doesn't matter because the Copa America is here and I'm very excited for this tournament. They did change up the format this time around. It used to be all South American teams with a few invitees here and there, but now it is going to be half South America, half North America. I don't understand why they haven't done that all along, and I am actually excited for this tournament. This is probably the first time in a really long time that I'm excited for a Copa America. The Copa America for me lost a lot of interest when they started making it every 2 years. They really just did that because Messi hadn't won anything and they needed to give him as many opportunities to win something with Argentina, but now that he's won it, I think they're finally going to be doing it just once every 4 years. But this Copa America I am actually excited for, so without further ado, let's just get to predicting. Alright, Group A, Argentina, Canada, Chile, Peru. This one is going to be pretty straightforward for me. I'm going to go with Argentina at first. Now, for the second spot, this tournament is obviously going to be different from the Euros because there's going to be 4 groups instead of 6. Only 2 teams per group make it through the next round, and there's no round of 16, it's only quarterfinals. So for the second spot in Group A, I think I'm going to have to go with Chile, and here's why. Personally, I'm going to be rooting for either Canada or Peru to make it out of this group. Canada, I do love Alphonso Davies, and I really hope they can make it out. Peru, I love them, but I highly doubt that they're going to be making it out of this group. They unfortunately have been in the decline over the recent years, and they did lose their manager Ricardo Careca, who is a very good manager, and unlucky for them, they actually lost them to a direct rival in this group, which is Chile. So this is why I believe Chile will make it out. So Group A for me looks like Argentina, Chile, Canada, Peru. Now Group B, Ecuador, Jamaica, Mexico, Venezuela. Ooh, this one is pretty even in terms of level. Now, before I start analyzing this, I want to put Jamaica as last in the group. I do not think that they are better than either Venezuela, Mexico, or Ecuador. Ecuador have a solid team. Venezuela right now are probably at the best they've ever been in the entire history of their federation. Their current team were actually runners-up to the U17 World Cup about, I think, like 6 years ago. Might have been in 2017. They did lose that final to England, and it's a very good generation. They have good players. I'm not saying that they're anything crazy and out of the water, but this is the best that they've played in a really long time. They're doing pretty good in the qualifiers, and when you compare it to Mexico and Ecuador, I really think that it's pretty even. Mexico is a team that traditionally does very good in the group stages, but I don't think that they are all that. They especially show it in the knockout stages when the stakes are at its highest, that they aren't really that good of a team. And I've always said that if Mexico were part of the South American World Cup qualifiers, they would have never made all the World Cups that they did, because I don't think that their team are actually as good as they make it seem. And I do believe South American football is a lot better than North American football, so I am going to go with this is actually tough. I want to root for Venezuela all the way through. I have a soft spot for Venezuela, and I do think they have a better team than anybody in this group. So I'm going to go with Venezuela at the very top. Hashtag Mano Tengo Fe. And I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to leave Ecuador going through as second in the group. I do think that they are better than Mexico. I haven't really heard many good things about Mexico lately, but I also don't really know much about them because I don't like to watch CONCACAF. Group C, Bolivia, Panama, Uruguay, and the United States of America. I am going to go with Uruguay as top of the group. This is pretty straightforward. Now for the second spot in this group, this is going to be a little bit contradictory to what I just said, because I do believe that South American football is definitely better than North American football, but I think Bolivia are probably one of the worst teams in South America. The only strength that Bolivia really have is that they get to play in La Paz during the qualifiers, which is the capital of their country, and it's very high in altitude, so it's very hard to play there. But aside from that, I'm gonna have to go with the USA on this one. I do think that they have a better team than Panama, and I'll just leave it like this. Uruguay, USA, Bolivia, Panama. Group D, this is probably the best group in the entire tournament. Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Paraguay. This is pretty tough because Paraguay historically are a pretty tough competitor. They usually play very well. They did make the final of the Copa America in 2011. And as many of you Spanish people may recall, they did give Spain a run for their money in the quarterfinals of the 2010 World Cup. If it wasn't for Casillas, that team would have not made it out of that game. Costa Rica are probably going to finish last in this group. I am going to say it right now. I think that they are one of the better North American teams, but I do not see them making it to the next round based off of how this group group looks. The truth is, Brazil right now are probably at one of the lowest points in their history. They do have a lot of talent. They have Vini Jr., who's arguably the best player in the world right now. The hype that Endrick is getting is legit. I mean, if you've seen his performances for Brazil recently, he keeps on scoring and scoring and scoring, and I think that that guy is going to be an incredible player. People in Brazil say that Endrick is the closest thing that they've seen to Pelé, which is a big thing to say, but hey, maybe it's for a reason. But in terms of Colombia haven't been defeated in almost 30 games. They've been a very good, solid nation. Over the qualifiers, they did beat Brazil 2-1. I can definitely see them struggling against Paraguay. I think every team in this group is going to struggle against Paraguay, but I do think that Colombia can get the better out of Brazil out of this group. So Group D, Colombia, Brazil, Paraguay, Costa Rica. Colombia and Brazil make it out of the group, and now we are on to the next round. All right, first match of the quarterfinals, Argentina, Ecuador. I really don't want Argentina to win. I think that's pretty obvious, but I don't want Argentina to win. However, I do not see them losing to Ecuador. I do think that Ecuador could give them a run for their money. I can honestly see this game being a 1-0 win for Argentina. I don't think it's going to be easy at all. I think Ecuador are definitely going to put up a fight, but Argentina are probably the best team in this entire tournament, so I'm going to go with Argentina. Chile, Venezuela. Mano tengo fe. I want to root for Venezuela. I don't know that much about Chile either. I do know that they have an incredible coach, and Venezuela has done very well in the qualifiers so far, so I don't really know what I'm going to go with here. Listen, I'm gonna go with Venezuela on this. I do think that they have a better team and that they are playing more like a team. I need to see it from Chile before I believe it. So Argentina, Venezuela. Now the third match of these quarterfinals is going to be probably the best match of the entire tournament, Uruguay, Brazil. Uruguay have a very solid team. I can definitely see them honestly going all the way and winning this. But I do think that Brazil have someone who could really be the difference maker in Vini Jr. I think that Vinicius is going to be arguably the best player in this entire tournament. I think that in the form that he's reached at this stage of the year, I think that he has everything it takes to be the difference in this match against Uruguay. I could see this match going to penalties, but I do think that Vini is going to be the difference, so I'm going to go with Brazil on this one. And now Colombia, USA. This is pretty straightforward. I'm going with Colombia. Colombia beat the United States 5-1 in a recent friendly that they played. They are undefeated for a very long streak of games, and I do think that Colombia have a lot of talent. But listen, the issue with Colombia at the end of the day is that their mentality is always not there. And the thing is, having beaten the United States 5-1 in a friendly could really make them feel like they are going to cruise past the United States, and I think that could be their death. I am not going to put it that way because Colombia have too much talent and they look too good to not be the United States of America. But if they don't take it serious, I can see them definitely flunking out of this tournament at this round, unfortunately. Okay, semifinals. Argentina, Venezuela. Argentina, I am sorry to the Venezuelan people. Mano tengo fe. Yes, I do. But I don't think that they can beat Argentina. Argentina are just too good right now. And I really don't want them to go this far. I don't want them to win. If they can get shocked and my predictions can look like absolute shit, I would absolutely take that. But I do have Argentina going to the final. And now it's about the second semifinal, which is Brazil-Colombia. Now this is tough because I did have Colombia winning the group against Brazil. I do think that they can win the group against Brazil. Brazil are going to struggle early in this tournament. But again, I believe Vini Jr. is going to be the best player of this entire tournament. But again, I am Colombian and I do want Colombia to win. I want them to go as far as possible, which is really hard for me to do this. But see, the thing about the Colombian national team is that they have all the talent in the world, but somehow they always find a way to lose in penalties in every single tournament that they play in. I'm pretty sure they've gotten knocked out on penalties out of the last, 4 tournaments that they've played. I think that they can definitely beat Brazil in the semifinals and set up a final with Argentina, but unfortunately, they're going to find a way to lose in penalties to Brazil, so I'm going to have to go with Brazil on this one. Setting up a final for the ages, the South American Clásico, Brazil, Argentina, Brazil. For the bronze final in the third place, I'm going with Colombia. I think this is pretty straightforward. But Argentina, Brazil, I do not want Argentina to win. I didn't want them to make it this far into the round, but the truth is that they have a significantly easier road to the final compared to Brazil, Colombia, Uruguay, which honestly makes me feel that they probably did that on purpose so Messi can win another one. But like I said, Vinicius Jr. is arguably the best player in the world right now, and I do think that Endrick is something that people haven't really witnessed yet. Listen, I think it's pretty obvious that Endrick will be the best under 21 player of the tournament, but I am going to say that he's going to finish as the top goal scorer of the Copa America. And between him, Vinny, and Rodrigo, I think that they're going to get revenge on Argentina from the last Copa America final. So I'm going to go with Brazil on this one. So there you have it, folks. Brazil is my pick to win the Copa America this year. I do think that they are going to be able to do it, but it's not going to be an easy road to the final. It's not going to be pretty, and I don't think that they will be winning the group. Like I said, said, Endrick will be the top goal scorer, and I do think that Vinicius Jr. will win the best player of the tournament award. Best goalkeeper of the tournament, you can probably give it to Dibu Martinez. I'm not even going to get into that. But that means that is all for our predictions. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Go subscribe to our channel. Go follow us on TikTok, on Instagram. Links for that will be in the description. And please don't forget to comment. I do want to know what you guys think. And with that being said, it means I will catch you guys next time. Peace.